Oh, there's people coming in here. How exciting. Oh, hello, everyone. Let me put myself on spotlight. There we go. Hello, everyone. This is very exciting. Right. Stefan.
Hello.
Hello. This is very cool. Okay.
Can you hear me and see me? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes. Guys, write in the chat just to make sure that we can be heard and seen. Right. I hope you can hear us.
Open questions. Oh, we have a Q&A.
Oh, all fine, says Janet. Brilliant.
Oh, good. Hi, Janet. Welcome.
Yes. Hey.
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 Yeah. How are you, Annalie?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. Yeah, bra. Bra. And you?
Fine. I visited my parents in the north of Sweden last week, and we had snow. Will you believe it?
Oh, exciting. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah. Oh, it was wonderful.
Great. Right, so we are nearly about to start.
Yeah.
We're just waiting one more minute, possibly. Is it 44? Yeah. We're right on time.
Great.
So guys, while we're just waiting, do you guys study Swedish at the moment, or are you thinking of starting to study, or have you studied for a long time? Do you want to just write in the chat for us?
Yeah, it'd be great to know.
Yeah, that'd be really great. Yeah, let us know what you're. Okay, Janet.
Okay. Danish is a good start. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant stuff.
Look, so is this in the Q&A chat? No.
No, it's in the chat under the three dots. Oh, here we go. I know some Norwegian, not what Swedes would like to hear, I'm sure. I've never studied Swedish before, but I'm very interested. Interested in learning it, interested to learn more about the differences. I started learning Swedish in lockdown, COVID, but could do with working harder on it. I have no Swedish. Okay, cool. So quite a lot of you are not sort of fluent Swedish speakers. I'm teaching Swedish to adults, but I want some tips on how to teach pronunciation.
Interesting.
Yeah. Annette, we should talk.
We should talk. We have a course for you, Annette, that is just smoking fresh off the shelf.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we're just about to. Okay, we should start. Guys.
Yeah, let's start.
We should start. Okay, so
Annelie.
Yes. So I'm Annelie Bronius Hake. I'm a Swedish teacher and an author and a course creator, and I'm also the founder of Swedish Made Easy.
And my name is Stefan Holmström. I'm an opera singer, a voice teacher, an Estil voice coach, and a course creator too. And from my past as a performer, I have a particular interest in how you can use vocal anatomy and physiology to explore pronunciation in different languages. So this is going to be a taster session for Swedish pronunciation. We're going to go through some fun and interesting aspects of the Swedish language, and we would like to teach you to pronounce a few Swedish words the Swedish way. If you have any questions as we go along, we already have a bubbling interactive chat going here. But if you have any questions, please write them in the chat, and we hope to have a few minutes, don't we, at the end, Annelie, to have a little discussion and to answer some questions.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, so we're going to start with just some basics. So the Swedish alphabet has 29 letters. And out of these, 9 are vowels. So we have 3 extra vowels at the end, which is o, ä, and ö. And we also consider the letter Y as a vowel. Each vowel has 2 sounds. So we have a long and a short sound. So the Swedish language has actually 18 vowel sounds. And we also have 25 different consonant sounds. So this means that when you're learning Swedish, there are more sounds than there are letters. And it also means that spoken Swedish is quite different from written Swedish. And this is something that Stefan and I, we focus a lot on this, and we teach this in our private sessions and also in our online course, the one that Stefan mentioned earlier, the course that is called Turn Your Swedish. Yes.
Exactly, and because it's so many sounds to learn, and one interesting thing about Swedish is that subtle changes in vowel sounds or in consonant sounds can completely change the meaning of a word, quite dramatically sometimes. So this is another thought behind that we are passionate about for increasing people's confidence in speaking Swedish, is that when you learn the craft behind how to really say these sounds, you will build your confidence, so that when you speak to your Swedish friends, or when you go to Sweden, you have that confidence in communication, right? And speaking of that, I want to talk a little bit about habits. This is something that we talk a lot about in our course, because when from our mother tongue, from our first language, we all have deeply ingrained patterns for muscle coordination, particularly for the tongue, right? Mother tongue. And when we learn a new language, I think we all notice that we will fall back to habits from our first language. And the beautiful thing that we have discovered about learning about anatomy and physiology is that you can start to learn the craft of these new sounds, of the Swedish sounds, without falling back to a reference point in another language, which may be quite approximate. This is a big topic, and we might talk about it as we look at how to say some Swedish words. Have a little think about it when you try the Swedish sounds. What are your habits? If you're an English speaker, for instance, you may be used to not using your lips so much, because we can get away with doing very little. When you say the Swedish vowel sounds, you can try them with me. O, ä, and ö. When you say o and ö, you do need to use your lips. And this can feel a little bit strange to start with, but it can mean the difference between being understood or not. So we will encourage you to overcome that feeling that it feels maybe a little bit unnatural to start with. So vowels and consonants, subtle differences will change the meaning of a word. And it's the same for when we talk about stress, where you strong and weak syllables, that will also change the meaning of a word, and also pitch. So another thing that completely changes what you're saying. So if we take an example, have you got a slide there, Anneli? Yes, great. So if we say the first word, anden, anden, and try all these words with us as we are working through them. Anden. Can you hear that the pitch starts high and falls down? You start at a higher pitch and you end up on a lower pitch. anden, anden. This is called an acute accent in Swedish, an acute pitch accent. So when we pronounce the word in that way, it means the spirit.
Stefan,
Yeah.
anden.
Ja, förlåt. Oj, oj, oj. I'm looking at the wrong... I'm looking at the wrong line. I'm looking at the wrong line. Thank you, Anneli. Yes, so let's start again, shall we? So, actually, why don't we continue where we were? Anden actually means the duck. So that is an acute pitch accent where the pitch starts high and falls down. Anden. Anden, the second word there on the screen. Now the first word, anden, when you're starting low and you go up in pitch, it's called a grave pitch accent. Anden. And then this word means the spirit. And that is quite, you can start to understand why we are talking about the Swedish sing-song. And one thing that we do in the course is that we translate some Swedish words and sentences into music. So if we can have the next slide, please. I love this word because I'm a great fan of kanelbullar. Kanelbullar. If you haven't tried one, you have to get yourself a nice kanelbulle. So if we were to sing this word, it would be roughly like this. If I translate my speaking pitches into a little song. Kanelbullar. So the pitches are going kanelbullar. Back to where you started. Kanelbullar. And when we sing this, you get a little bit softer as you go through the phrase. Kanelbullar. Kanelbullar. And it has kind of like a bluesy kind of feel to it. Kanelbullar. Kanelbullar. And you're getting a little bit softer towards the end. Kanelbullar. 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 And if you then just keep that feeling of those pitches and just speak it, kanelbullar, kanelbullar, and then you have a pretty good start at the melody we would use for these words. And again, talking about habits, Anneli, this might feel a little bit unusual to start with because in Swedish we use a bigger pitch range than what you do in many other languages. And an interesting thing is also that pitch can signal emotion. So I'm going to hand over to you, Anneli, for a little quiz.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to give you a little quiz where you are going to guess the meaning of one Swedish word said in 5 different ways through intonation. So I'm going to share this little quiz with you and you're just going to watch it and see how you guys get on. Right, so can you guess 5 different meanings of one Swedish word? Let's see. Jaha! 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 Jaha. 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 Okay. How many correct answers did you get?
Did anyone guess all the words correctly?
Yeah, did anyone get a full score? Put in the chat if anyone got a full score. Oh, Janet got 4 right. Very good. Someone else got 2. Not bad. Oh, Pauline. Full score for Pauline. Well done. Jättebra. Great. Brilliant. Okay.
Okay, thanks everyone for taking part.
Yeah.
So, of course, now if we come back to all our vowel sounds and our consonant sounds, 18 vowel sounds and 25 consonant sounds. Instead of teaching you all of those, which would be quite tricky in a taster like this, we would just like to show you some quick hacks that you can use to pronounce some well-known Swedish words and names that we want to teach you how to say the Swedish way.
Absolutely. So, let's start with this one. Probably doesn't need an introduction, but question, do you know what the letters stand for? Some of you might do. Let me see here. Sorry, I just need to move my windows around a little bit. Yes, so the letters, what do they stand for? Well, they stand for the name of the founder and also his family farm and home village. So Ingvar Kamprad Älmtaryd Agunnaryd, which is a region or a village in the region of Småland in Sweden. But Stefan, how do we pronounce this company name in Swedish, and how is it different from how you might hear it in English?
You mean, are you thinking of IKEA?
Yes.
IKEA. So in Swedish, it's IKEA. IKEA. So we have 3 vowel sounds there. I, E, A. And they are short, long, short. I, E, A. I, E, A. And there's a K. IKEA. And if we want to use our pitch, you can start kind of comfortable low. I, go to middle. E, and then go high, comfortable high. A. I, E, A. I, E, A. IKEA. IKEA.
Great. Next one that is perhaps also quite well known, I don't know, certainly in England, but this is the name of a small town in central Sweden, quite close to where I grew up, actually. But outside of Sweden, it is famous for being the name of a cider drink. And the name is 2 words put together. It's copper, the first one. That's the metal. And the second part of the name means mountain. And the place got its name from when people started to move to the area in the 1600s because they'd found copper there. So Stefan, how do we pronounce this one?
Kopparberg. Kopparberg. And there is 2 R sounds in this word, and they are rolled with the tip of the tongue behind the top teeth. Rrr, rrr. This is the most common R sound that we hear in Swedish. And also at the end, the J, the G becomes a J or a Y if we're talking English. So Kopparberg. So not berg, but berg. Kopparberg. And Anneli, I have a funny story here. My partner Scott, who has helped us a lot with our new pronunciation course, he learned this meticulously, Kopparberg. And then he went into the pub and asked, "Can I please have a Kopparberg?" And they did not know what
here in England.
No, exactly. Because they are used to, I think here we say Kopparberg.
Kopparberg. Yeah.
Kopparberg. Yeah. But it's Kopparberg.
Next one. Okay, so we talked about Swedish being a musical language and also a musical country, of course. So here we have them. You might know already that the letters stand for the first names of the members, but let's have a little look and see how we actually say these names in Swedish, the Swedish way. Stefan.
Agneta, Björn, Benny, Annifrid. So with the first name, Agneta, the GN actually becomes NGN. Ngn, ngn. Agneta. And the stress is on the second part of the word, right? Agneta. Agneta. On the second syllable. Agneta.
It's the same stress as IKEA, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. Agneta. Yeah, very similar. And björn, there you have a nice open uh, using those lips forward. Uh, uh, björn. And Benny, you could think about the Swedish, when we say this word in English, we often hear it as Benny, Benny. So if you think of that E vowel that you have inside, the tongue is doing en Benny, I, and then keep that and round your lips forward, Bennu, Bennu. You get the vowel sounds that's a little bit similar to the French U, like tu, or the German grün, U, grün. Similar, but not the same. Bennu, Bennu, Bennu. And the stress is at the beginning of the word. Bennu. And then we have Annifrid. And again, there's that rolled R. And really, we have a really excellent section in our course, haven't we, Anneli, about how to tackle this if you're finding that rolled R a challenge.
Yeah.
And I thought with that name also, Annifrid, you could sing it. You could think of it like this. Annifrid. It's quite suitable to a singer, isn't it? Annifrid. And get a little bit softer as you go along. Annifrid. Annifrid. Annifrid.
Very nice. Love singing the names
Yeah.
and words. It's beautiful. Next one that we thought we'd teach you how to pronounce the Swedish way is this place, Gothenburg, as it's commonly called outside of Sweden, second largest city located on the west coast, is named after the large river that runs through the city. And the second part of the word means fortress. Over to you, Stefan. How do we say this?
Well, again, it's the vowels. Ö, ä, å. Ö, ä, å. Göteborg. Göteborg. And the G at the beginning and the G at the end have been softened to, if we translate it to English, a Y, or in Swedish, a J. Göteborg. Göteborg. And again on the Ö and the O. Ö, O. Use your lips forward. Completely, you have to, if you want to be understood. Göteborg.
And our final word that we're going to look at today is this word.
Ooh.
Ooh. A lot of things going on here, a lot of vowels, consonants. So this is, I think, quite a well-known word, even in other languages, for example, English. So in Swedish, it means buffet, but it has also come to mean an array of things, a mixture of things, not just food. The word smörgås means sandwich, and the word bord means table. Sandwich table is essentially what we're saying. Sandwich table. It's quite interesting that the word smörgås actually is made up of two words, smör, which means butter, and gås, which means goose. Smörgås, butter goose. So why do we call a sandwich a butter goose? This is because in the olden days, when people were churning milk to make butter, little lumps of butter floated to the surface, and people thought that they looked like geese on a lake. And this little lump of butter, the butter goose, was the perfect size to spread on a piece of bread. So But in modern Swedish, it has come to mean the whole sandwich, not just the lump of butter. But Stefan, how do we actually pronounce the word smörgåsbord? What should we think about when we say this? Because I often hear it a little bit differently when it's used in English.
Smorgasbord.
Smörgåsbord.
Smorgasbord. Yeah. So, smörgåsbord. Smörgåsbord. We have 3 vowels there that all use the lip rounding again. O, oo. O, oo. You're rounding your lips more and more as you go through the word. O, oo. O, oo. Smörgåsbord. Smörgåsbord. And we could actually sing this word as well if we did it like this. This is approximately my pitches. Smörgåsbord. Smörgåsbord. So the stress is right at the beginning of the word. Smörgåsbord. But the pitch goes up at the end. And in Swedish, this is very important to learn to master. Another thing we work quite a lot with in our course. Smörgåsbord. Smörgåsbord. And hold on to that feeling. Smörgåsbord. Smörgåsbord.
Right.
Would anyone like to have a go at saying this last word? It would be fun if it was someone who is new to this language. Who would like to have a go with us?
Yeah. Have we got a brave volunteer?
Have we got a brave volunteer?
Smörgåsbord.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Come and join us.
Oh, wait, someone has raised the hand. Let me.
Laura, is it?
Yes.
Smörgåsbord.
Great.
I'm just trying to think. Can we spotlight you? I don't seem to be able to spotlight you. Can you spotlight, Stefan?
No, I can't. Maybe
I
because
can't.
I don't know whether it is because you're.
Or maybe because the video is off, Laura.
Yes. Could you switch your video on, Laura?
Video is on, but they can't see. I am unable to switch the camera. I don't know.
Okay.
So
yeah, if you show the word again, I can try.
Yes. I'll come back to the. Here we go.
Here we go. Have another go, Laura.
Again. Smörgåsbord.
Aha. And I'll throw one that is pretty good. Right at the end, Laura, you have RD together, and that is just said as one sound. Just d. The tongue, like I do in English. D. I do. So it becomes smörgåsbord.
I try.
Oh.
Smörgåsbord.
Very good. Jättebra.
I cannot do better than that. Okay, but I like it. It's really enjoyable.
Oh, good. Well done.
Thank you.
Right, Stefan, should we, anyone else who'd like to have a go?
Yeah, I've got one more volunteer for smörgåsbord.
Why they heard me?
Kristina.
Yeah, I was the first one.
You were the first one. Okay.
I've got a little cold. Smörgåsbord.
Yeah.
Adding you to spotlight.
Smörgåsbord.
Yeah, very good, Christina. I mean, I was going to say, so now you got the pitching with which is beautiful to practice, and it's interesting, is it, that we use this much practice, this much pitch when we speak Swedish. Now, ditch the pitches and just speak it with that feeling of pitch. Smörgåsbord.
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 Smörgåsbord. Sorry, that means hair, sir, in my language. I got confused. Smörgåsbord.
Yeah.
Bord.
Nice. Thank you so much. That's lovely.
Okay, I'll come back as well. There we go.
Well done.
Yes, well done, everyone. So hopefully now you can go away and show off with how you pronounce these words and names in a bit more of a Swedish way. And yeah, we also hope that you feel inspired to learn more about Swedish and in particular learn more about Swedish pronunciation and intonation.
And like we mentioned earlier, we are just about to launch and open a new online course for Swedish pronunciation called Tone Your Swedish. And I think it may be a world first, because in this course we are using MRI videos to help you learn more about what it looks like in the vocal tract when you produce Swedish sounds. And this is just to help you understand what is moving and how is it moving when we produce all these sounds, like the Swedish U or Ö or Y or or sh. all of those sounds, they're all can change. Very subtle shifts can change the meaning of a word. So if you're interested in learning more about this or anything else about the Swedish language, you can go to Swedish Made Easy's website, swedishmadeeasy.com. We have a couple of minutes left. Are there any questions or any comments from you guys who are here today?
David's written, presumably Tone Your Swedish isn't about someone called Tone. That's great joke.
Yeah.
Tone is a female Scandinavian name, but pronounced Tone. Tone, you're Swedish. No,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
It's kind of like it's play on the fact that we are working we have gyms for the tongue, for the lips. So we are actually working out the pronunciation muscles for Swedish. And we're also, the tone, the sing-songs is kind of a play on those two things.
Someone's asked if we could post the link that we mentioned. I'm just going to put it in the chat. There you go. That's the Swedish Made Easy.
Great.
Yeah, because it is something that we've talked a lot about, haven't we, Stefan? That it is. I mean, just coming back to this MRI thing and why we've done the MRI, because it's sort of hard to know what goes on inside your vocal tract, right? You can't really see.
Yeah, exactly, and it's getting beyond that first page of a lot of course books, isn't it? Where you have there's a quick summary of all the usually in the introduction, right at the beginning, and there is a quick summary of all the vowels and this is all the sounds, and never mind. Now let's get on with the course. And we think, oh, hang on, there's a lot of that's where it is. That's where the craft is in how you really say the Swedish sounds. So yeah, the MRI is going to be hugely helpful in learning not just a few hints and tips on how to do it, but to actually see what's going on. Don't you think? I mean, that's quite something.
Yeah, in a sort of visceral way. Janet has asked a question. Are double consonants in Swedish pronounced with double emphasis like in Finnish? Double emphasis. Janet, are you there? Can you unmute? Can you say koppar in Finnish?
Well, no, I can't. But I learned a little Finnish that when there's a double letter in Finnish, including vowels, actually, you have to pronounce hyvä päivä is good day, and you have to put more emphasis. And I couldn't hear whether that was the same in Swedish.
It is the same. It is the same, Janet.
It's not koppa, it's koppa. So
Kopparberg, yeah, Kopparberg.
Yeah.
It is the same.
But one thing, Janet, one thing that happens in Swedish when you have double consonants is that the vowel before those consonants become short.
Yes, yes.
So, for example, I'm going to take a classic example that we always say. I'll put these in the chat. Can you see this, what I just wrote in the chat? So the first one has just one S. That means that the A is long. Glass. The second one has double S, double consonant, that shortens the A to glass. So glass, glass. Glass is one of these. Glass is ice cream. Now, it doesn't have to, I should mention this, it doesn't have to be the same consonant. I mean, in this case, it is a double S, but it could be two different consonants, but it tends to shorten the vowel sound of the vowel that comes before.
And it's interesting also so it is, so when you have a double consonant, you do pronounce it with some emphasis, but sometimes that happens with a single consonant too, like in the word man, for instance, man, M-A-N, man.
Yeah.
You might have expected to see M-A-N-N.
Yes, because that's how it's almost pronounced. So that is what we call a long consonant.
Yeah.
Which then almost functions as a double consonant, if that makes sense, which shortens the A, or vän, or friend.
And yeah, one more thing about Kopparberg, the stress of the word is Kopparberg. The stress is on the first syllable, but that is a short O. But the length in that stress comes because the P, the double P, is part of that short consonant. So in that case, particularly when the stress is on a short vowel, the following double consonant is very important. Kopparberg. The double P is part of the length of that short vowel sound. So it's very important to really pronounce it.
Absolutely. And I think when I teach sort of in one-to-one sessions and we talk about this, then obviously lengthening a voiced consonant is quite easy, like or l. That's quite easy. But with a P, with a double P like this, and you have to sort of emphasize it and you have to pronounce it, but it's hard to make it long because it's just so. But you end up with that sort of feeling of you're almost hanging in the air. That's right, Stefan, isn't it? Kopparberg. Yeah. And that's how you sort of emphasize it.
That might be clearer to see in a word like the Swedish word for summer, sommar. Sommar. There's also the stress is on the first syllable, but the O is short. We have a double M that becomes part of that strong part of the word, sommar. And then it's very important, in order to be understood, to really say a consonant in that, particularly in a position like that.
Absolutely. And Annette points out that in Swedish, the double K is spelled CK, but in Finnish, it's KK. Yeah, correct.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, correct.
Great. Any more questions on Swedish pronunciation?
Well, you did really well with the quiz.
Yeah.
No more questions, I don't think. It was all crystal clear.
Anneli?
Yes.
Can you know, is it not right that you have that video on YouTube? Is that right? You can have a look at it, or is it, I think one
Which
of my
one, the
students,
Yaha one?
Yaha or something. You have something. One of my students have definitely posted, or whether it's from Switch or
It's-
somewhere else.
Yes, yes, I have a few that where I do those, but they are more like little TikTok videos.
Oh,
They're
maybe
not
it's
like a
TikTok,
quiz.
yeah.
But I am going to put the quiz up now that we've run it here in the language show. I am actually going to put it up on YouTube, the quiz. But yes, on my
That
Instagram
would be brilliant.
and on TikTok and on YouTube, there are those little short ones which just has the subtitles as to what they mean. So I do it with a few interjections. I do it with Yaha. I do it just with the sound ah and you and oi, which all
Yes, oi.
oi, oi, oi,
Oi.
oi, 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 oi. Okay, Christina says, oh yes, Farah. I saw Farah earlier. I know Farah. So lovely to see you, Farah, if you're still there. Yeah, how close is Swedish to Finnish?
There is no similar.
No,
They're
no, it's
different.
so different. It's two different universes.
But perhaps we can point out that because we have a Swedish Finnish, a dialect of Swedish that is spoken in Finland that is well, almost it's something in between its own language and a dialect. So obviously then you have a very strong connection with Swedish, but Finnish per se is a completely different branch of language.
Yeah, it's Finno-Ugric, I think it's called, which is, yeah, Lorenzo points out, is close to Estonian. Yeah, I think it's Estonian. I don't know if Latvian as well. I think it has, I think Hungarian as well.
Yes,
Hungarian, but it's not at all on the Germanic branch. It's actually not even on the Indo-European Germanic branch. So it's very far removed, sort of language family-wise from Swedish, completely different. But in Finland you have two official languages, so a lot of Finnish people. Well, I think it's still obligatory in school to learn some Swedish, I believe. And like we said, a region in the south, I think I'm correct in saying, sort of South Finland, and certainly on the coast, there are some communities there that speak Swedish as their sort of main language, first language.
And then it is Swedish Finnish.
Finlandssvenska, precis. Yes, Finlandssvenska.
And it's very interesting when we, like for instance, when we have been creating our course, it is very interesting to study Finlandssvenska, Finnish Swedish, to get a perspective of how we might have pronounced things in the past. There are lots of remnants of Swedish. Swedish evolves in all sorts of directions, and it's a very interesting point of reference to look into Finnish Swedish.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also in terms of like vocabulary, I've noticed that, and spellings, they have, I think in Finlandssvenska, in the way that it's being taught in Finland, it's they still do certain things that we have sort of stopped doing in sort of Sweden.
For this is one thing. If you take that word, I was being very careful to help someone to say smörgåsbord, where the last the RD at the end becomes joined up to that slightly back in the mouth d sound, tip of the tongue slightly further back, but in Finnish Swedish you will probably hear smörgåsbord. You would then separate those two. That's one thing, that those things that we are now tying together in Swedish are still separated. Shall we stop there, Anneli, if we have no more questions or comments for today?
Oh, wait, there is somebody
Is
who
there?
has, sorry, I've just noticed there was a Q&A question in Q&A. Oh, David has said, could you read a longer passage in Swedish so that we could get more of an idea? Oh, that's
Should we just speak a little bit, Anneli?
Ja, det kan vi göra. Vi kan ju ta in Annette kanske.
Annette, hur,
Ja.
hur är läget Annette? Hur mår du?
Jag mår jättebra. Det här har varit jätteintressant.
Vad kul. Var bor du, Annette? Var är du?
Nu,
Mm.
jag bor i Surrey, utanför, sydväst om London.
Ah,
Men jag kommer ifrån Värmland, Säffle i Värmland.
ah. Och då kanske man använder du tjockt L där, precis som vi gör uppe i Ångermanland? Säger man
Ja.
säffle, eller?
Säffle. Nja.
Kanske
Inte
inte
så
just det.
Men vi har väldigt många ö, så allting korv så heter körv.
Körv, ja.
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 Väldigt många vokaler blir ö.
Mhm. Vackert språk, vacker dialekt.
Tack.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that gave you guys a little bit of a flavor. Okay. Shall we call it a day?
Let's call it a day there.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming, all of you, and for being here and giving it a go.
Look us up on social media and follow us.
Yes, if you're on Instagram, we're there. Yeah. And enjoy the rest of the lunch show.
Thank you so much everyone for coming.
Tack så mycket.
Hej då!
Hej då!